This video is presented to you by Draeger's International Classic Sales in Seattle, Washington. Hi, I'm Jerry Draeger, Draeger's International Classic Sales in Seattle, Washington. We're here at Draeger's Clubhouse so you can take a look at this 1965 Ford Mustang we just got in. Now this car has some issues. It has a little bit of rust in it, but it runs and drives great. I mean, you can look at it, the paint is just fair on it, but I've been getting high signs with it. It is not as nice as what you see on either side of me here. I mean, these are super nice cars. These are high-end cars, but this is a driver quality car I think you'll enjoy. The driver's side of this Mustang is real nice and straight. I don't see any dents down the side. The drain vent is in there. But I look at the paint on here and I just know it is not the, it's not your $20,000 paint job by any manner of means. It's just, it'll probably last a long time. Now the window, it rolls up and down real good. Just nice and easy, as you can see. Back window is the same way. It rolls up and down good. Squeaked a little at me there, and of course the door closes good. I'm on here. There's a little bit of pitting along in here. This all looks good. There's a little spot right there. I notice a little spot right here. And all this kind of looks pretty good on here. And of course you can see we have the style steel wheels on here. These are 66 style steel wheels. And the paint right in here, this may rub out if a guy knows what he's doing to paint. There's some long streaks there. Other than that, it all looks real good. The front end of this rig looks real good. I mean, I look over the top of the hood, and that all looks good and everything. I noticed on this bumper here, it's got some rusty spots on it. These little bumperettes are easy to change. They don't cost a whole lot. One of the things nice about Mustangs, you can buy anything you want for them. Bumper looks good. To open the hood up, you reach right underneath here, pull on that, you can lift it up. Now what we have in here is a 289 engine. It's a C code, which means it's a 2-barrel. Now the VIN number is right here, as you can see, and that is the shows you the C code on it. Anyway, we'll take a look, pull the air cleaner off here, and you can see that we now have a Edelbrock intake and a brand new carburetor on here too, and this is a 4-barrel now, so you got a little bit more horsepower, and if you got a cam in this thing, it runs quite well. It's got a split brake system on it. The master cylinder sits right back there, and it's a split brake and it's power because we have disc brakes on the front, so you got a good braking system on there, and that it just is a good safety feature. And the split brake master cylinder, a lot of guys like to do that, so they do have that safety feature on there. When Joe did the service work, he put a new filter on. Of course, there's a new oil filter down there. And we also have a built-in, the guy that I bought it from had a battery charger on here, so you can plug it in. It's a trickle charger, and it'll keep it from going low on you. The other thing, too, it's got additional supports on here. We have a heavy-duty sway bar on the bottom, and this radiator looks like it's fairly new. As I mentioned before, there's rust in this car, and here's one spot on this bottom of this shock tower. You can see there's a hole there and a hole here. And going across here, I mean, I'm just looking at this car. I would replace this one too, because otherwise it wouldn't look even. But other than that, it looks just fine across the front. Passenger side looks real nice and straight on this car. There's a little scratch right here on top of the fender, but everything else looks good. I would tell you, when I rub my hands across here, this paint I don't think has ever been buffed real good, or maybe even wet sanded. There's some marring right there a little bit. This has got a power antenna too, so when you turn the radio on, that goes up. I mean, there's really not a whole lot in here. All this looks good. This looks good. This all looks good. There's some scratching right in here. Looks like sand marks from when it was painted. You know, they could have smoothed over. That was a woody hair. So that all looks good. These windows, they roll up and down good. Same with the front window, it rolls up and down good. And the doors close good. I mean, it all really looks good. And I know it's not the best paint job I've ever seen. Rain vents in there. It looks just fine. The rear of this Mustang looks good. I mean, all across the top and everything. This all looks good. It wasn't anything. The chrome bumper looks real good. These bumperettes back here, both of them look okay. I wouldn't replace them like I would the front ones. No, I think everything. I see maybe I don't really see much. It looked like sand marks in there, but I don't think it was. I mean, all this looks good. See how this trunk looks in here? Now, this is all clean and nice. We have a spare tire. It's got decent tread on it. We have a 6-track CD player right here. And take a look at the trunk here. This all looks, I mean, I don't see it all rusted out or anything in here. It all looks good and solid. You know, it doesn't look great black like that, like new one. And I think underneath here, we got the spare tire, and I think we'll find a jack underneath this side. Yep, there's a jack and a lug wrench. And this side looks pretty much the same as the other side there. This, I think, this fender must have been replaced. I don't know why else that would be on there. So, anyway, that gives you an idea of the trunk. And of course, the lid closes good. This all looks good. The rest of this all looks good. Let's take a look at the top on this Mustang. As you can see, it was just replaced not very long ago, and it's like brand new still. It's black top. It's a manual top, so let's put it down for you so you can see how that works. And it's just really easy. You just got to reach over on both sides and undo the clamps, and then you just lift up on it. It's easier to get back out of the car to do it. And you just lift up on it, pull it down. Now, I always like to get to about here, and I always like to straighten out this rear window, make sure that it's all good. And then this thing comes down. I always like to close these clamps too. And it just snaps right here. Then you come over to the other side over here, and it's got the clamp here, and you push this down and it clamps. And that's basically it. And then you just put your boot on. And to put it up, it's just reverse order. You click that. And then I always lift it up a ways right here. It just helps to get it past the over center spot a little bit. And then you clip it here, unclip it, push it up, and I mean, that's basically it. Putting the top up and down. I mean, it's just real easy. Open up the clamps on both sides. And you usually sometimes have to pull back here in the back a little bit to get the clamp in there. Clamp it. Do the same thing on the other side, and your top is down. This Mustang came with the bench seat in it, as you see here, and it has this center console or armrest right here, and that folds up so you could put another person in here. The back feels like it was broken, but it works great as an armrest. You can see we got a couple of issues here. There's also another spot over here in the seat. The dash pad looks real good on this car. You know, if you want to dress these up, it's real easy to buy these pieces, like this dash pieces, and you can get them at glove box stores. You could, you know, it just dresses it up good. We have an AM, FM 8-track in here. Of course, your automatic shift. Steering wheel. You can buy anything you want for a Mustang. It's great. So the steering wheel's got a couple little cracks in there, nothing big. I didn't hardly even notice them. So, I mean, it all looks decent that way. The back seat, it's in real good shape. You know, it's not a new car. This is a car that's been driven and used. The carpets, on the other hand, they've been replaced recently. And you have seat belts here in the front, none in the rear. The door panels here are good. It does have a little bit of a tear in the armrest right there. Again, another item that's real easy to replace. The door panel on that side over there is good. It's coming apart back there up at the top there a little bit, and a upholstery shop could probably fix that real easy for you. Now the heater controls work nice and smooth. This one, I can tell, is not hooked up. The fan, it blows good, and it differentiates. I can feel it coming up here now, and stuff. Now the radio, we played with this a little bit. The CD player in the trunk is not working. I can't eject the cassette to put a CD in it, and we don't know much about radios, so we're not playing with it. The radio itself, it works good. You have to put it on to AM, FM, or F. We're still on the CD. I'll blast myself out. This needle does not work, but you can change channels real easy by just turning this a little bit and get to the different channels. And it's got a power antenna on it too, so when you turn this off, antenna goes down. Okay, we'll turn the lights on for you. High beam, low beam, park lights, turn signal left, turn signal right, wipers, horn. You have to push the horn in the center to work. On our walk around inspection, I forgot to point out this little bullseye here on the right side. Start it up here, and there's your running lights, left turn signal, right turn signal, and brake light. What you saw there was condensation. When we looked inside the trunk, it looked like this fender may have been replaced on this outer side here, but the drain vent is in here. And in here, these vents are in here, or actually they're holes and they would have been plugged. But they're there, and the drain vent is on that side also. And you can see there's brand new leaf springs on here, and we got new sway bar, heavy duty sway bar on here. And it is what you see. It's not clean. We haven't cleaned on it or anything. You can see the rear end is got grease and grime on it, and we never tried to clean it. And you can see it's got a brand new exhaust system on here, Flow Pro. I don't know anything about Flow Pro, but you can see it's got new exhaust on. Now this car has some rust issues underneath here. I mean, I look down along this edge right here, it's kind of split apart and stuff. But the drain vent here, and it's up there on that side, and also the drain vents are on both sides here, so that's all good. But you can see it's got a grody right there. And look, some of the stuff right in through here. You know, it's hard to say what's all in here, but It's not perfect. You're not buying a show quality car, and now we're not trying to sell you a show quality car. An interesting thing here, they put this new exhaust system on here. Instead of getting it up into the tunnel like they should have here, it hung down. So what did they do? They took the plate off that goes across here. Now, it's fine. I mean, the stock Mustang doesn't have that, but this is a convertible, and they put that in there for a stiffener. So it's something a guy could do later on down the road if he wanted to. Now here's on this plate here, this is rusty in here. You can see, and of course it's gooped up in here. I don't, who knows what's in. It looks like this floor pan right in here has been replaced. This section of the frame looks good. I can see right here, there's a piece sticking out here, and there's some weld back here. Too bad the lift is on it right there, so you can't see it. This side, looks a lot better, but it's there. Now this is the bottom of your C4 automatic transmission. Again, we haven't cleaned on it or anything. It's just the way it is. And your 289 automatic right there. But look up here, and you can see we got new A-frames on here. This has disc brakes on the front. I mean, look at here. This is new. So it's got a lot of new stuff in the suspension. Look at the size of this sway bar right here. We have disc brakes on the front, and I see the new shocks on here too. See the new rubber bushings again, and this big heavy-duty sway bar. Also, it looks like a brand new radiator hose on here. And this radiator, I sit here and I look at it, it's shinier and cleaner than the rest of it, so I assume it looks like that radiator's been replaced. So you're in good shape that way. I'm boarding a Washington State ferry to head to Kingston, Washington. Washington State has one of the largest ferry systems in the United States, and it's third largest by fleet size in the world, but it is the largest system in the world for the number of vehicles carried annually. Anyway, we're exiting the ferry now, and I'm heading for Old School Garage in Port Orchard, Washington. This is about a 50-mile drive, and it gives me a really good chance to understand the vehicle. And when I get there, I can tell Joe what it needs. I might find out other things, after you drive it down, you're doing 60, 70 miles an hour, and you're going slow, like loading on the ferry and stuff. You'll find things that you may not find. This particular car, it didn't need much of anything. It works great and runs and drives great. So I think overall it'll be a great piece for you. We're going up onto I-5 now, going northbound, so you can see this Mustang going down the freeway. I think this Mustang probably looks really good in the video. I'm going to step on out here so you can get an idea. As you can see, this Mustang runs quite well. Now we're going to give you a chance to see how it runs now you get a chance to see how it looks on this side. I should have said the passenger side, shouldn't I? I'll give you a chance to see how this Mustang operates, runs and drives. We do a lot of Mustangs, and so I'm looking for them all the time. I know Mustangs really well from 1964 and a half to 1966, but we do later model Mustangs too. So very seldom do we ever get over 70, 71. We're back at Drager's Clubhouse, and I hope you enjoyed this short ride down the freeway, so you can see how well this Mustang runs and drives, and gives you a good idea of its condition and everything. And if you're at all interested, please give us a call at 206-533-9600. We'd be more than happy to show you this Mustang or any other Mustangs we have.
I'm Andrew Drager, and if you have any questions about this vehicle, please don't hesitate to call or email us.
I'm Jerry Drager, and we're a father-son team, and we hope you enjoyed the video and understand that we really try really hard to go over the vehicle with this video to show you everything. Doesn't mean that I get every single spot or anything else, but I try, and Andrew and I both work really hard to make sure the vehicles are in top shape before they leave here. You got any questions, always give us a call or email us. We'd be more than happy to talk to you. We really invite you to come see them, and if you can't, you should have them inspected. I think it's really important to make sure you understand what you're buying.